And good evening, and welcome to the World Online Racing Championship Street Stock Series presented by the Keystone Corner. We are here at round 2 at Richmond Raceway tonight for 75 laps of short track racing. And the guys have just went out and started their qualifying attempts, and we'll follow along here. As we can see here, the 17 of John Canizaro Jr., who I'm going to go ahead and say better be nice to me in the Xfinity series we run together, or I will, like he said, roast him publicly in the broadcast booth. He's out there on his second lap now. As you can see, he is at the top of the timing score there with a 24.64, coming around for his second and final qualifying lap. And we'll see if he can improve on that time. So far, provisional pole, and it does not look like he will improve his time. Harrison Mitchell, by the way, in the 7:31 goes up into provisional third place. Paul Granata here in the 04. And you can see the timing score is just going to update really quickly here. The 80 of Visconti throwing down a provisional pole lap there with a 24.57. We saw him at the top of the scoring board in the practice session, so no surprise there. You can check him out there in that number 80 machine, WORC paint scheme. Good looking car there. We'll see if we can catch anyone else on the track. The 44 here of Brady Weileman, who is currently in the top 10 of the points. Looks like he is a provisional 6th place there with his time. And we'll check and see if anyone else here is about ready to turn a lap. Looks like 29 here of Aaron Griffin is about ready to hit the track, so we'll ride along with him. In that Jimmy John's IROC Z Camaro paint scheme. Beautiful paint scheme there. You can see he's going to start his first time lap here. And you'll notice that these guys will have their hands full tonight. This track is very slick in these street stock cars, very loose. Tire wear is going to come into play. Throttle control, especially here coming out of turn 4. And it looks like he will run the 18th quickest time there with a 25:04. And looks like a big mistake there going into turn 1. So that's going to do it for him. And we'll see if anyone else is on the track. We've got the 51 here of Jay Mulder about ready to start his qualifying lap. He's taking a very wide exit there off of turn 4 to get maximum straightaway speed. A little high there into turns 1 and 2. A late entry and a low exit. We'll see what he can do here on his final lap. Looks like he does improve. That'll put him up into the 15th position there with a 24.87. So just looking at the timing board here, looks like there is no one else on the track right now. So let's switch over and talk about the series. Really quick here, top 10 in the points after round 1. We've got Brady Weileman in first, Keelan Belsha in second, Logan Shore in third, Paul Granata in fourth, Kevin Spencer in fifth, Jared Bokanowski in sixth, Hayes Booth in seventh, Jay Mulder in eighth, Mason Suit in ninth, and Ryan Martin there in 10th. And I believe Mason Suit is not in the server this evening, so he will more than likely drop out of that top 10 tonight, unfortunately. And switching over to the series schedule here, we've got an action-packed schedule for you guys. As many of you know, last week we completed round 1 at Daytona. Here we're at round 2, Richmond Raceway, which, by the way, this series has been a long-running series, but this is the first time that the Street Stock Series has made their way to Richmond Raceway. So a lot of action to expect here. The guys aren't familiar with the track. We go to Bristol, Lime Rock, Oxford, Charlotte, Phoenix, Michigan, Knoxville, Homestead, and USA will be the final round, championship round there. All right, we'll bring up our starting grid order. On the pole, Mason Thompson in that 81 machine there, beating Christian Visconti there in second in the number 80 machine. On the pole for Mason Thompson, so he snuck that in there at the last minute. Good job from him. John Canizaro Jr. there in third, Aiden Kirker in fourth, Paul Granata in fifth, Brady Weileman in sixth, Harrison Mitchell in seventh, Connor Trifari in 8th, Joseph Costello in 9th, Pierce Moffitt in 10th, Shane Fuller in the 11th position, and the number 5 machine there, Brayson Collins, rounding out in 12th position. In 13th, we've got DJ Powell, Nick Pina in 14th, Jay Mulder in 15th, Ryan Martin in 16th, Jared Bokanowski in 17th, Austin Duran in 18th, Aaron Griffin in 19th, Cameron McCone in the 20th position. We saw him have a good run Tuesday night in the Dirt Midget Series, so good to see him out here again. In the 21st position, we've got Julian Ricky. And in the 23rd position there, we've got Noah Owens and Eric Hempel there in the 24th position. 25th, we've got Sean Giroux, Logan Shore in 26th, Ethan Harrison 27th, Matthew Dutcher 28th, and Andrew May in 29th. So we've got 29 cars here in this main event. Going to be an exciting one. Lots of cars around this short track. And we already know from practice and qualifying that these guys will have their hands full tonight. And this should be an exciting race. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like the 81 Mason Thompson is currently scored in 27th. I'm not sure what's going on there with the timing board. But our leaderboard is currently showing the 80 of Visconti on the pole, so we'll have to get some clarification for that. And real quick, while they complete their last pace lap, just some race analysis for tonight. 75 laps here in the main event. 0 fast repairs for these guys, so if they get damage, they're going to have to live with it all night. Fuel is at 75% and 3 sets of tires tonight. And it looks like the pace truck will come off this lap and they will get going green. And we see the 81 there of Thompson get a good jump. The 80 of Visconti right on his outside. We're going to go 2 and 3 wide, all the way 3 wide back here with the 5 of Brayson going all the way up against the wall. Meanwhile, for the lead, looks like the 81 is still out front, but we're not sure why on the scoreboard he is currently not scored in first position. Or if he received an EOL penalty or what, but according to the timing board, the 17 of John Canizaro Jr. there is currently in the lead. Meanwhile, behind them, we've got the 04 of Paul Granata there looking to make a move up the inside of the 39 of Kirker. Is he going to make it stick? Now, you will notice that 39 will get a good run here off turn 4. The high side can be very dangerous on these exiting laps, and I'm really not sure what's going on with the scoreboard right now. I do apologize. It looks like it has sorted itself out there, so now we finally have the 81 of Thompson out front. That's good to see. John Canizaro Jr. there in the 17 machine in second place. We've got Christian Visconti, the 80 in third. Right behind them, the 39 of Aiden Kirker. Looks like Paul Granata in the 04 getting a little sideways there, coming out of turn 2. In the 420 machine, the Trump machine there, we see Connor Trifari looking up the inside of Paul Granata. And that's what you'll see here all night long. Someone making a mistake coming out of turn 2. You'll see the car make a run up the inside on the backstretch going down into turn 3 and 4. Textbook pass there by the 420 machine. But it looks like Paul Granata is not done. He's going to fight back on the inside here. but he will have the bigger of a challenge getting the throttle down there on the exit of turn 4. Very loose exiting there, so you will see the high side car there in the outside lane generally get a better run off of there. Very difficult track to pass at. And meanwhile back here we've got a couple cars very low, like 356 there of DJ Powell. And he's got the 60 of Costello on the outside, and right behind him Jay Mulder in the 51, making some moves all the way up till 12th position. And we do have our first caution of the evening. Let's see what brought that out. Like Matthew Dutcher is involved here in the 43 machine. Just sticking a nose down there into turn 3 and 4, making contact with the 52. Trying to get a look at who the 52 is. I believe that is Nick Pina there. So let's watch that one more time. Little different angle here. You see the 43 going to look to the inside. 52 left him a lane there, but unfortunately the 43 just so late on the brakes, and it looks like the 91 also involved in that of Julian Ricky. That will bring out the first caution of the evening. Out front still the 81 of Mason Thompson. Now what will be interesting tonight, I did talk to the drivers before the race, and it looks like they will be good on fuel for this evening's race, but they were concerned about tire wear. So we will have to wait and see. It looks like no one comes down pit road this first caution, but that's not to say later on in the race we may have some takers down pit road. Like the biggest mover so far, we've got the 34 of Henry Clappert there, up 7 positions since the start of the race. Also Andrew May there in the 31 machine, up 7 positions as well. So good to see them making moves up through the field here. It looks like we did have a couple takers to pit road. We've got the 5 of Brayson Collins, who looks like he's got a little bit of left front and left side damage there. That could be why he chose to come down pit road to try to get some of that repair. And then also we've got the 731 there of Harrison Mitchell, who as well has a little bit of damage. But those look like the only two. It looks like the 052 of Nick Pina also down pit road. And Henry Clappert there in the 34. But the pit time is so short, it looks like they might have just got scored going down pit road to avoid that wreck, and didn't actually make a stop. So the pace lights are off the pace truck, so we will be going green again this time around with 11 laps complete here in the 75 lap shootout. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to the World Online Racing Championship Street Stock Series here presented by the Keystone Corner. Thank you for that sponsor coming on tonight. We are about to go green. Pace truck is off. And you see a great jump there by the 81 of Thompson. Remember, the restarts are now at the leader's choice, not the iRacing green flag. But we've got a car 3 wide there. Like the 39 of Aiden Kirker looking to make some moves there on the outside going into turn 1 and 2. Right in front of him, we've got the 44 of Brady Weileman, who's in the top 10 of the points. Looking on the inside there, the 17 of Canizaro Jr. And it looks like he may be able to complete that pass as we head down into turn 1. See the rear end sliding there on the 44 machine as he was loose entering and exiting that turn. Still the 17 on his outside there. Good 2 wide racing. And you can see the 39 of Kirker getting a little impatient, getting right up to the bumper there of the 44. You see the 17 of Canizaro Jr. there, lose out a little bit there in that last lap. Looks like the 44 of Weileman is going to be able to make that pass, but now he's under pressure from the 39 of Aiden Kirker. And it looks like that 17 machine is looking to get down to the bottom as soon as he can. There's going to be a little bit of a gap right there, and he does choose to take it. Slides in front of the 420 of Trifari. And further back here in the field, we've got the 356 of DJ Powell. We've got the 41 and the 57 here. Shane Fuller making a move on Pierce Moffitt. And right behind them, we've got the 60. Ooh, a little bit of contact there from the 60 and the 51. Like they are going to keep it clean. The 60 here still on the inside of the 51 of Jay Mulder. The 60 there sliding way up the track there on the entry. Jay Mulder doing a great job of entering that turn very high and giving him plenty of room. Good to see. That's what we want to see. Meanwhile, the 420 here of Trifari looking up the inside of the 44 of Weileman. See if he can make this pass count as we enter turn 3 and 4. Getting a great exit off of turn 4 there. It's something we don't typically see, especially on worn out tires. We usually see that outside lane be predominant there, but good job by him. It looks like he is going to complete this pass. You may see the 44 take a stab at the inside. No, he stays in line. Meanwhile, out in front of them, we've got the 17 of Canizaro Jr. here running down the 39 of Aiden Kirker, who made that pass on that restart. You can see two very different lines there. The 17 of Canizaro Jr. doing an early exit. Meanwhile, up front, we've got a pass for the lead happening. Looks like Christian Visconti looking on the inside there in that 80 machine on Thompson in the 81. We'll see who gets a better run off of turn 4. Pretty equal going down the front stretch. See what happens here in turn 1 and 2. The 81 giving a lot of room there to the 80. And the 81 getting a great exit off of turn 2, running that high line. The 80 being pinched down like that. Not able to get in the throttle as early. And it looks like we could see these guys run too wide here for multiple laps. And this is exactly what the 39 of Kirker and the 17 of Canizaro Jr. wanted to see, as you see the 39 of Aiden Kirker also making a move for second place. As we do have a new leader, the 80 of Christian Visconti out front, taking the lead away from our pole sitter Mason Thompson. And Canizaro Jr. there in the 17 also going to look to capitalize while the 81 is stuck on the high side. And it looks like he's not going to be able to complete that pass. So the 81 of Thompson is going to slot into third place. But he is going to fight back for second now. As you see, he gets a great exit there off of turn 4 down the front stretch. Going to look to the inside of the 39 of Kirker. 39 of Kirker pinching him down very low there. See, he wants to retain that second place position. Meanwhile, the 17 of Canizaro Jr. making a late braking move there into turn 3 and 4. We'll see what he can do here in turns 1 and 2. You can see he's running that very narrow early entry line. The 81 getting extremely loose, so that's going to allow the 17 to take that third position. Let's check in behind them and see what other action we've got on the track. Like the 5 of Brayson Collins has worked his way up to 17th place there with the damage that he received from that last run. Meanwhile, Canizaro Jr. here in the number 17, looking on the inside of the 39 of Kirker for second place. We've seen that 17 all night long make those late braking moves into turns 3 and 4, but let's see what he can do in 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to complete this pass. The 39 getting a great run there off the exit, and we do have a caution flag, our second caution flag of the evening. Let's try to go back and figure out what brought that caution out. We're looking at the 29 there of Aaron Griffin. Oh, the 74 just getting into him there on entry and turning him around. And that will bring our second caution of the evening out. Looks like we have a lot of takers on pit road here. The only one that has stayed out so far is the 34 of Henry Clappert. We also have the 77 of Ethan Harrison, the 5 of Brayson Collins, who pitted on lap 9. Harrison Mitchell here in the 731 pitted on lap 8. Ryan Martin lap 9. And let's see who wins the battle off of pit road here. Like the 39 of Aiden Kirker, the 80 of Visconti, and the 44 of Weileman. Going to be your top 3 out of the pits. Mason Thompson in the 81 machine having a very slow pit time there. I wonder if he just slid past his pit stall, because he is going to come out at 6 there in those in the cars that did pit. So he entered second and came out 6. So obviously a mistake there on pit road. Meanwhile, Aiden Kirker here in the 39 machine was in second place there when they went into the pits. He's going to come out here in 5th place as the front 4 cars did not pit that time around. Ethan Harrison here in the 77 machine is the only one of the top 4 here that didn't pit at all. The other 3, Brayson Collins, Harrison Mitchell, and Ryan Martin, all pitted on laps 8 and 9. So it will be interesting to see how this 77 car here of Ethan Harrison holds up as the guys behind them have fresh tires. Do expect the pace lights to go off the pace truck this time around, so we'll do one more lap and then we'll get going green. Just completing lap 30 here of 75. Gotta wonder here if the inside lane or the outside lane is preferred on these restarts. Obviously the leader having the choice of when to restart is going to make a huge difference, but assuming you get 2 cars that take off equally, I have to wonder, is the inside line going to be preferred or the outside? We'll see here on this restart. Pace lights are off the pace truck entering turn 4 here. It will dive off into pit lane. You see the 77 of Harrison get a very early jump. Right behind him, you've got the 5 of Collins and the 731 of Mitchell. 731 looking on the inside. Right behind him, the 80 of Visconti on fresh tires. We'll see how close or how soon he can reel in these guys and get around them. He's going to make it 3 wide here, almost 3 wide for a minute, as he dives up the inside. Looks like these guys on old tires are going to stay out of the way of these fresh tire guys. Visconti is going to move into second place. 39 of Kirker right behind him. See, the 77 is going to stay high and allow these guys to race. Oh, we've got a little contact right behind him. The 420 slid up into a car. We've got one going around the 52, I believe. He'll bring out the caution. Yeah, that was the 52 of Nick Pina. Looks like there was a little bit of contact up front there, and it just accordion effect. We'll go back and let's watch that. Like he just gets on the apron. The 34 gets in front of him and just pushes him around there. Nick Pina was probably, we'll look at it from his onboard, but he was probably slowing up because of the contact that was going on in front of him. We'll look at it here from Nick Pina's view. See, he gets a little loose, gets down on the apron. So actually, it was just because he got loose and was very slow exiting that turn. The 34 just got into the back of him. Here we're right on board the 34's view. It looks like he just expected the 52 of Pena to get into the throttle there, but when the 52 did, his rear end came around, so he wasn't going anywhere. And just looks like the 34, you know, expected him to accelerate off the turn, and he didn't. So getting into the back of him and bringing him around there. Meanwhile, back up front, the 80 of Christian Visconti has regained the lead. The 39 of Aiden Kirker there in second place. The 5 of Brayson Collins remains in third place. But remember, Brayson did pit on lap 9. All the cars around him pitted on lap 27. So he's on quite a bit of older tires. We'll see how long he can hold on to that position and where he lands as we get going green. Like, he is the only car out there that has not pitted in the last 25 laps. So just a bold strategy move there by Brayson, who, as you can see, has damage, was involved in an earlier incident, doing everything he can to get a good finish tonight. I applaud him for that, and I hope he can make this strategy work. Let's check in on our biggest mover so far, our hard charger. We've got the 31 there of Andrew May, who is up 12 positions since the start of the race. Good to see a good run from him. He's currently scored in the 18th position. Remember, we had 29 cars start tonight's race. All right, and we should expect the pace lights to go off this time around. So one more lap and we will get going green. Just completed lap 37 out of 75. So far, this has been the Visconti show. But Aiden Kirker there in the 39 machine has been looking racy all night long. Can't rule out our pole sitter there, the 81 of Mason Thompson. He got pushed to the high side there toward the end of that last green flag run and shuffled back to third or fourth position. But he will be looking to make his move back up front there. Looking for the 17 of Canizaro Jr. all the way back in 11th position. But we saw him running up front well. As we go green here, the 80 of Visconti getting a great run. Brayson Collins also right behind him. It's like that outside lane just did not get going there of the 39 of Aiden Kirker. Meanwhile, we've got three wide behind him, the 356, the 17, and the 60. It's like they all are going to make it through that turn somehow. The 5 of Collins still hanging on up front here. See, Mason Thompson is going to go into third position there. The 44 of Weileman is going to go around him. The 420 of Trifari going to go up the inside of the 5. Oh, and it's very tight behind him. We've actually got a car going on the apron there, the 356. It's like he is going to keep it straight on the track. Meanwhile, Visconti there has extended his lead to 0.4 of a second. Behind him, 39 of Kirker. And right behind him, Mason Thompson, our pole sitter tonight, in third position, looking to get his way back up front. The 420 there of Trifari making a move on the 44 of Weileman. We'll see if he can make this pass as we enter turn 3 and 4. And we do have another caution flag. Third caution of the night. It's like multiple cars involved in that. Let's go take a look. Ryan Martin here in the 9 machine. One of these cars involved. You see 3 wide. We saw a car just bounce off the wall, knock into the 17. We then knock the 9 around. That's going to collect the 29. The 88 of Sean Giroux also involved in that. And the 731 of Harrison Mitchell involved in that accident as well. So it looks like the 92 bounces off the wall there, hits the 77 in that red car there, and that just causes a chain reaction from there. Apologize, that is our 4th caution of the night. I have lost count. Meanwhile, we just completed lap 42 out of 75. Looks like everyone now is on the same pit strategy. Just looking for Brayson Collins, who is currently on pit road. Serviced, so yeah, pretty much everyone has pitted on lap 27 or 28, except for the ones just involved in that accident, and also the 5 of Brayson Collins, who was on an alternate strategy, pitting early on lap 9, and just now pitting on lap 44. So all of the top 15 here, at least, all on the same pit strategy, equal tire wear. So we'll see what happens here in 2 laps once we get going green. Interested for you guys that are watching along here, type in the chat who your pick is for tonight. I think personally, I'm going to have to go with the 39 there of Aiden Kirker. I think he is better on the long runs potentially than the 80 of Visconti. So I think if we can get 30 green flag laps here to the finish, I think that 39 machine there has a very good chance of winning, but we know the 80 of Visconti is not going to give that up easily. I think we're going to do one more pace lap here. Then we will get going green. Fortunately, Richmond is one of those tracks that the iRacing system deems as a short track, and therefore makes you run extended caution laps, unfortunately. So sometimes when you have accidents like this, it can take quite a few laps before you get going green. But the pace lights are off the pace truck now, so we will be going green here this next time around. Exciting to see. We know the 80 will get a great launch here, a great early launch, but the 39 of Kirker has also been getting great starts. And the 81 of Thompson there on the inside line where he wants to be, right all over the bumper of the 80 of Visconti. Looks like we're going to have a good launch by Visconti. Right behind them, looks like the 81 of Thompson getting a better launch than the 39. And we're going to head too wide here down into turns 1 and 2. All the way back. The first 10 rows, all too wide. 39 getting a great exit off of turn 2. And may be able to clear the 81 here for second position, going down the front stretch. But no, the 81 getting a great exit. We've got the 17 of Canizaro Jr. making moves here. Looking under the 4 of Paul Granado. Has worked his way up into 6th position now on the tail of that 420. Meanwhile, the 81 of Thompson still working on the inside of the 39 of Kirker for second place. This is allowing Visconti to pull out to a half-second lead. And if I'm Visconti, this is exactly what I want to see in my rearview mirror. I want to see these guys run too wide for the rest of the race. But the 39 of Kirker gonna clear him this time around and take that second place position. Canizaro Jr. here on the inside of the 44 of Brady Weileman. Going to make that pass. And also look on the inside of the 420 of Trifari. A very aggressive move. They are going to make contact. And he keeps it going. But further back in the field, we've got the 34 around. We've got the 731 also caught up in that. But we're going to stay going. No, that will bring out the caution. Right, so let's take a look at that from the different angles that happen. We're looking at the 17 of Canizaro Jr. And actually, we've got to back it up a little bit further than that. Second. We'll see here as he was making a move on the 44, he's also going to make a move on the 420. The 420 going to pinch him low there on the track. And that just causes mayhem behind them. Go back and watch that one more time. A different angle. Want to just see if the 17 was fully alongside the 420, and it looks like he was there. You could argue the 17 slid up just a little bit, but also the 420 was very low on the track. I'm gonna go ahead and label that one as a racing incident in my book. The 17 all the way there on the yellow line slides up just a little bit, but the 420 barely, if anything, leaving a car length there. Yeah, I'm going to stick to my original assumption when I first saw it and just said that's some tight racing, a racing incident there. Both guys going for the same piece of real estate. But that will bring out our 5th caution of the evening. Doesn't look like there's any damage on the 17 of Canizaro Jr. Look like there's any right front damage, so that is good to see. Let's check on the 420. Also, that car looks clean, so he was able to keep it going after that little tussle. It was further on back that the ripple effect happened, and we saw some cars get damaged. It looks like we will have about 20 laps to go once we take the green flag again. Here, round 2 at Richmond Raceway this evening in the Street Stock Series presented by the Keystone Corner. Christian Visconti in the number 80 there, out front with the 39 of Aiden Kirker, who has been strong all night on the outside. Mason Thompson, our pole sitter of the evening, currently in 3rd position, and John Canizaro Jr. there in the 17 has worked his way up to 4th place after a bad round of pit stops. Also, someone we got to talk about tonight, the 04 Paul Granata has worked his way back up into the top 5 there in the 5th position. So it's good to see him up here. Biggest mover of the evening, the 31, again holding on to that title, is up 15 positions since the start of the race, currently in 14th. And I've just got to point out Cameron McCollum's paint scheme here, Gravedigger machine, the 06 there. That is a great paint scheme. Kudos to him. And it does look like the pace lights are off the pace truck. We will get going green this time around. The 80 of Visconti there. Going to look for an early jump. He changed his starting zone up just a little bit there. Caught the 39 of Aiden Kirker off. And the Mason Thompson there in the 81 going to get a look under him going into turn 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Paul Granata in the 04 right behind him, making a move on the 17 of Thompson. I'm sorry, the 17 of Canizaro Jr. And the 81 looking racy there on the inside again. Visconti pulling away 0.4 of a second in front of them as these two, second and third, run side by side. And we've seen this a couple times now, almost like it's deja vu. The 81 gets on the inside and just not able to complete the pass on the 39. That 39 is a tough car to pass up there in that high line. But you see the 39 getting loose, but he's able to stay there on the outside as they go into turn 1 and 2. Meanwhile, the 80 of Visconti not pulling away. Actually, the 81 is pulling up on his bumper. It looks like the 80 is struggling. We could see a pass for the lead as the 81 is looking racy. He was able to clear the 39 of Kirker there for second place. Meanwhile, the 39 of Kirker under pressure by the 04 of Paul Granata. Could be a little tire saving going on by the 80 machine. We're not sure, but he is going to have to be defensive here as the 81 of Thompson dives down to the inside there in turns 3 and 4. And we are going to have a new race leader here as we cross the finish. The 81 of Mason Thompson and the 39 of Kirker going to follow him through. Move up into second place. Visconti there still stuck on the outside. We saw Paul Granata in the 04 getting all kinds sideways there in the exit of turn 2. Canizaro Jr. there in the 17 has worked his way up to 5th. And we'll see if he can make a move here on the 04 of Granada. We do have a pass going on for the lead. The 39 of Aiden Kirker. Oh, late entry, going to slide up and door the 81. But we've got a caution for something else further back in the field. I'm sure the 81 of Thompson is not going to be happy about that move there. 39 just way late on the brakes, was never going to make that turn, and using the 81 to make that turn. But let's go and see what brought out that yellow flag, our 6th caution of the evening. It looks like Ryan Martin here in the 9 machine involved. Actually, you can see the 24 just get loose in front of him. It looked like something was happening in front of him. Let's zoom out a little bit here as we're going into turns 3 and 4. Yep, the Gravedigger car there making contact, checking up. That's going to make the 24 get loose as he got on the brakes, and that will bring the caution out, our 6th caution of the evening. So when all this shakes out, we should have around a 9 or 10 lap shootout to the finish here in the Keystone Corner Street Stock Series in the World Online Racing Championship League. And while they are pacing, let's check out the schedule of this league. We are at round 2 here in Richmond. Next week we head to Bristol for some more short track racing. Lime Rock Road Course. Now that one I am excited to see. The street stocks on a little road course track, fun track there that is. Then they head to Oxford, which is another short track. Charlotte Motor Speedway, a little 1.5 mile action in these street stocks, always exciting. Phoenix, which I believe is the free version of Phoenix there. Round 7, Michigan. Round 8, Knoxville Dirt there. In round 9, Homestead. And then rounding out the final will be USA Speedway. So if you're interested in the series, look them up. Find them on Facebook, on iRacing, and apply. It's a good series. We've got a lot of cars out here. 29 cars started this evening. Meanwhile, the 39 of Aiden Kirker, and I don't want to brag, but remember, a few laps ago, he was my pick for this evening, is out front. And I'm just looking for the 80 of Visconti, came down pit road there on lap 62. So opting to take tires. We saw him struggling on that restart. So his tires were done, but that's going to unfortunately knock him back all the way to 16th position. With only a handful of laps to go, will he be able to work his way back up through the field here on a tough passing racetrack that we're at tonight? Andrew May there in the 31 machine. We've talked about him all night long. Biggest mover, still the biggest mover as he continues to move forward in 8th position, up 21 positions since the start of this race. So I believe he's just showing a textbook drive of keeping your car clean and being consistent and working his way up into the top 10 there in 8th position. So good for him. The person we need to talk about here is the 77 of Ethan Harrison, currently in 11th, up 16 positions since the start of the race this evening. Good run from him there in that Coca-Cola machine. And Sean Giroux there in the 88. Good to see him back up in 13th after being involved in one of those first few cautions. Meanwhile, up front, 39 of Aiden Kirker. Looks like the top 10 all have not pitted in the last, like 30 laps. So the next car that has pitted on lap 51 is Sean Giroux, Jared Bokanowski, Noah Owens, and then Christian Visconti, who just pitted on lap 62. We'll be paying attention here to see how far they make it up the field as we resume racing here with 9 to go. When we cross the line, you see the 39 of Aiden Kirker getting a great jump there, but the 44 of Granada right on his bumper. And the 04 of Granada on the outside, the 44 of Weileman there. Oh, we see the 04 into the wall there on the exit of turn 2, but he is going to keep it straight, and we do have Mayhem behind him, though. Like the 60 of Joseph Costello involved in that. Eric Hempel, the 9 of Ryan Martin. The 45 of Austin Duran looks like he is out of the race this evening. The 24 of Logan Shore also involved in that big crash. Let's go back and see what brought that out. Looks like the 45. We're going to have to go to the 45 there to get the best angle. Like the 60 came across the nose of the 45, and that is just going to cause a traffic jam on the exit of turn 2 there. As you can see, the 9, Ryan Martin, flipping around there, but he's going to keep going. Meanwhile, up front, Aiden Kirker is excited because that will essentially make this about a 3-lap shootout to the finish once we get going green again. And he wants to see as few laps as possible here because he knows there are quicker cars further back in the field that did take fresh tires. He's on old tires. This is exactly what he wants to see. He wants to see these little short sprints to the finish. But we saw the 44 of Brady Weileman there on that last restart get a great jump and right on his rear bumper going down into turns 1 and 2. So we know he can do a great restart. So he's someone we're going to have to watch. He's currently in the top 10 on the points. Let's switch over to the points and go over that. Brady Weileman actually our number 1 in the points. So last week's winner. So obviously a very strong finisher here. He's up in 3rd. Keelan Belsha there in second. I don't think Keelan made it into the server this evening. No, he did not. Logan Shore in third. Paul Granada there in fourth. Kevin Spencer in fifth. Jared Bokanowski in sixth. Hayes Booth in seventh. Jay Mulder eighth. And Mason Suit there in ninth. And Ryan Martin rounding out your top 10. All right, pace lights are off the pace truck. We will get going green with 4 laps to go this evening. Now, if they do have another caution flag, which, you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, they will have 2 green-white checkered attempts this evening. And in fact, since we did not make it 1 lap there on that last restart, they will be doing this one single file in an attempt to just calm the field down and hopefully make it green all the way to the end. The pace truck is going to pull off this time. 39 of Kirker going to get an early jump, but the 04 of Granada also laying back and getting a great run. Going to dive up the inside. Not sure what happened right there. It's like the 39 missed a shift. But the 04 of Paul Granada going to go into the lead. The 44 of Brady Weileman on the outside, but the 39 is not done with that. You can see they make contact going down the back stretch. The 39 going to give the 04 the bumper for that little defensive move. And it works. Textbook bump and run right there by the 39 of Kirker as we cross the line. 3 to go. The 51 of Jay Mulder up into second place. Up 13 positions since the start of this race. And now he's in second. Good run by him. Right behind them, the 44 of Brady Weileman. The 04 of Granada still trying to get down to that inside lane now. Looks like the 41 of Pierce Moffitt looking to make a pass on him. 2 to go this time around. See the 41 getting a little loose there. That's going to allow the 356 by. Meanwhile, out front, 39, Aiden Kirker. Out front, right in front of him. Right behind him, the 51 of Jay Mulder. And then Brady Weileman. Looks like they are getting a little spread out here now as they will come around and take the white flag. And looks like everyone's sort of settled down now. A little action here. Visconti there in the 80 making a move on the inside of the 77, but going to make contact. That is unfortunate for the 77, but out front here, the 39 of Aiden Kirker with an awesome move there with 3 to go. Going to take home the victory tonight. Jay Mulder there in the 51 with an excellent run there toward the end of the race, working his way all the way up to second. Brady Weileman, our points leader, will come home in third. The 04 of Paul Granada, probably not where he wanted to finish, but still a great run there in fourth position. And I think we might have some heated drivers tonight in the interviews. I'm excited to talk to these guys. What an excellent finish to the race there. I believe the 04 there is not happy with the 39 of Kirker, as you can see with that post-race move. But what an awesome finish. I'm actually going to go back. I want to watch that again. We need to back it up just a little bit. We'll see the 04 here just get loose on exit. That's going to allow the 39 to get a nose down on the inside. The 04 are going to be very defensive, go all the way to the bottom of the track, make contact, and the 39 says, nuh-uh, I was there. I'm coming through. I'm going to take that victory away from you. With a textbook bump and run. That's what I love to see. With less than 3 laps to go, short track racing, a good bump and run, in my opinion, is allowed. And that was just an excellent move for the finish. So we'll wait for these guys to get done celebrating here, and we'll bring some up and talk to them post-race interviews here. Right, it looks like we do have our third place finisher here as I bring up the official results. Like we do have Brady Weileman. Brady. Hi, Brady. Kevin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, man, congratulations on that third place finish. You came into tonight first in the points, needed a strong finish to stay up there, and it looks like you got that accomplished tonight in that number 44 machine. Walk us through tonight. What was your strategy going into the race? Were you able to stick to it? And how do you feel about the ending there?
I feel a lot better than I did in practice because in practice I was struggling a whole lot. But the car actually got better during the run as it went on. It got tight, a little bit tighter. It was easier to hold and control of. Yeah, I was just looking to come in and get another good finish. I thought maybe I had a shot at second, maybe even the win there at the end. But yeah, third place, nothing to complain about.
Yeah, just got to ask on the restarts there late in the race, being on that outside line, did you prefer to be on the outside or the inside?
Probably the uh Probably the inside because that's where the main line is. But the outside, it did work if you used it right. But probably I would probably choose the inside over the outside.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, but you made it work. You came up through the field there, uh, coming home in the third position. While you're here, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Next Level Racing, Bodega, Circle B Diecast, Iceman Designs, Beat Sibs Paints, and congratulating Aiden on the win. Who opened up the season, which is good. So congrats to him.
Yeah, and again, congrats to you there on that third place finish. Good, strong finish tonight. We'll have to see how the points shake out, but we do expect you to probably be up there in first or second once this shakes out.
All right,
But yeah, good to see you. We'll see you hopefully again next week.
all right, thank you.
All right, now we've got our second place finisher up here, Jay Mulder. Hey, Jay, it's Kevin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, first of all, congratulations on that run up into second place. It seemed like you came out of nowhere, up 13 positions since the start of the green flag. I don't know where you came from, honestly, without going back and watching the replays there, but it seemed like you came out of nowhere, got that second place position. Just just walk us through the end of the race there. How did the car come to you there in the long run?
Yeah, well, like about 10, 15 ago, we had that split pit strategy, and about half the guys went down pit road, and I was about 10th area around that time, and that gave me the opportunity to move up to the top five, and not enough guys pitted to give those fresher tires like closer to the front, so they'd have that opportunity at the front. So they were stuck back there. I got to move up, and it worked out for me. And at the end there, we were all right on top of each other, and managed to navigate through and get up to second and just tried to follow Aiden, not make any mistakes, and give myself a shot there at the end.
Hey, and it worked out. So I gotta ask, were you doing any tire management through the race since you knew you were not going to pit there? Were you saving anything for the end?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the night, I was really just trying to manage my stuff and not overdrive my corners and just hold the bottom, not make any mistakes. That seemed like the biggest thing because if you'd be smooth, you'd really make time and just negotiate your way by people one at a time. And that seemed to work for me.
Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to ask you about. Richmond is notoriously a hard track to pass at, usually a one lane, one groove track. How difficult was it to pass out there tonight?
It was difficult, but I'd say you could really make the top side work on the restarts. There are a couple where I would move up to the second lane, even the third lane, get by a couple of guys, and it worked out pretty well. You get the run off the corner and clear a guy, and then maybe dive back to the bottom and get back in your rhythm.
Well, it worked out for you, that is for sure. Coming home second tonight. Congratulations on that. Hey, next week we head to Bristol. How do you feel about that track?
Yeah, that's a track I love, and just about everything. It's got the bright lights, the high banks, awesome racetrack. Hopefully, we put on a good show out there.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on that second place finish tonight. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you in the top three next weekend as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, and now we will bring our race winner up here tonight, Aiden Kirker. Hey, Aiden, it's Kevin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Hey, man, heck of a run. First of all, taking home the victory. We saw that pass. We watched it from multiple angles there that you made for the lead on the 04 machine. Textbook bump and run. How did I just got to ask you, you know, did you expect it to be that clean and that good of a pass, or were you just frustrated on that move he made on the back stretch and was like, I'm going to take this lead no matter what?
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know how to do a bump and run. That's something I've always struggled with. So I just kind of sent it in there to show my displeasure, not really to wreck him. And it just kind of worked. It kind of worked out that way with moving him out of the way. But no, I mean, it wasn't really. I didn't really expect it to be that. I also didn't really expect him to get the lead on me off that restart. But I had struggled getting it into fourth gear. And that kind of, I thought we lost it at that point, but then we reeled him back in. And down the back, he just kind of pulled a late block, made contact with my right front to his left rear, and then going into the turn, I just wanted to show my displeasure to him, but it ended up working, and we got past him too, and we were able to scoot away and take the win.
Yeah, I can tell you from up here in the booth, it was a beautiful pass. What we want to see here at this short track racing. I'm sure the 04 of Paul Granada probably feels differently about it, but it was just beautiful racing all around. So I got to commend you for that, keeping it clean. And I'm glad you confirmed that there on that last restart. We were wondering what happened. It looked like a missed shift to us. So I'm glad you confirmed that there. I did want to ask you one more question. How was your car there in the long runs, and were you saving any tire for the end of the race because you knew we saw some of the guys behind you? I think all the way back in 10th position is where they came out there in that last caution where they came in and got fresh tires. How worried about that were you?
I wasn't too concerned actually. What I was doing was I was just kind of lifting a little bit earlier than most people would, and then rolling the car. So using very minimum brake and just kind of letting the tires warm up at first, just so it wasn't really kicking out too much and wasn't really burning the tires as far as long run goes, and it was giving the tires time to get heat and not really getting too loose on the short run. So then once we get about 10 laps in, the car became a lot easier to drive, but it also became a little bit quicker. So that was kind of the strategy. And then once all those guys pit, it worked out perfect because that was the point of the race where my car was actually going to be driving better than theirs would have been on fresh tires.
Yeah, we saw the 80 of Christian Visconti, who you were battling most of the night there for the lead. Did opt to come down pit road and take fresh tires, but was just not able to make it up through the field. So it looks like you picked the right strategy there, saving your stuff. Good to see. Hey, Aiden, while you're here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank obviously the league admins, all the people that put hard work into making this league what it is. It's been around for a little more than a year, and we've had our ups and downs in it. But it's always nice to come in here and want to run a race and WRC and especially win a race. So and I want to thank, of course, you for broadcasting and presenting the show we put on to everybody at home. And I want to thank my mom, want to thank my dad, my girlfriend Emma, my grandmother, and all my friends and family that support me. So thank you guys, and hopefully we'll be back here next week for, I believe, Bristol, and maybe we can pick up another win there.
That's right. Another short track coming up, Bristol. And yeah, again, congratulations on that victory tonight. Best of luck to you, and we hope to be talking to you in Victory Lane again next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, that will wrap it up for this evening. The World Online Racing Championship Street Stock Series here presented by the Keystone Corner. Great racing tonight at these 75 laps here. Round 2 at Richmond. Exciting finish. Got to see a great bump and run pass for the victory. I think everything we wanted to see here tonight, so that is good. Good strong field of cars, having 29 entries here tonight. I'm excited for next week. We'll see how these cars perform at Bristol. But thank you all for tuning in here, Soak Tires Broadcasting, and that will do it for this evening, and hopefully you'll be back next week.
I am Dark Bloom.